Well, tell me something good. What it's been? We haven't seen each other since before Christmas. I think it's been. So, what good has happened in your businesses since last year? Who wants to go first? I use it every year.
I will.
Okay. I got some good ideas.
Okay.
Haley, what do you got? I know you have some stuff.
Yeah, I got a pre-approval with Lindsay and JJ. So they were pre-approved with someone else, and I was like raving about them. So they're like, we'll give them a shot. So Lindsay had a consultation yesterday. It went good, and they're pre-approved. So
Good.
should put an offer in, hopefully.
Good. What else? Who else?
I'm seeing more showings pick up.
I agree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is definitely feeling like 26 is going to be a better year.
I think so.
I feel like I saw a bunch of new listings pop on the market.
Yep,
It's happening after the first.
correct.
Now that it's not downpouring rain.
I think
Yeah.
interest rates
Yeah.
are down too.
Interest rates. FJD will touch on interest rates. I think I'm selling a house today. Hidden Valley. I had a closing today. Yeah, guys, good things. Good things. All right. So moving on, we got a lot of ground to cover before we let Alex take over.
Joey's got one.
I was gonna share,
Joey, what do you
Amanda
got?
just joined EXP from Lake County, so.
Lake
Yeah.
County.
Yeah. She drove out here just for the meeting.
Oh my
today, so we're
gosh.
pretty
Awesome.
excited, yeah.
Welcome.
Real
Thank
quick, can you
you.
just say your name again and just?
My name's Amanda Gonzalez. I'm from Lake County. What I've been experiencing is with my back and forth with Joey is that it's a very different market than Roseville. So sometimes I'm listening to all your guys' like input about the local market, and I'm like, it's very different 2 hours away.
I believe it. Well, welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here. And cute purse, by the way.
Oh, thank
No.
you. It was Joey's.
Moving on.
Thanks, man.
Johnny, I want to welcome DiMaggio.
DiMaggio, hello.
Aaron, he's coming off the team. He's a killer. And you're from Costa Rica, right? Or Nicaragua?
Nicaragua, my man. One of the places I want to visit is Esteli, because that's where they make a lot of the cigars, right? So maybe you can be my guide. All right. Jeremy Larson, this was just recently announced. He's a top producing agent out of Santa Cruz. So we will not be here next Thursday. We will be at PCAR. If you have an RSVP, please scan the QR code. It is free, so you do not have to pay anything, but it helps us set up for the room. If all of a sudden, 60, 70 people show up, it's hard for us to get the chairs and tables put out for you. So please do us a favor. Don't come alone and RSVP. And just bring a friend. And then,
Just what people are speaking right now.
oh yeah, sorry, the phones are on.
Yep.
Big call, Chandra. By the way, Chandra is now the keeper of the meetings. Everybody say hi to Chandra if you don't know her before. Hey. Yeah, there you go. You can go on live. And then Marguerite is doing this. This is Marguerite's event. Marguerite is doing a vision board party. It's Thursday, January 15th at 3 p.m. So if you go to PCAR, after PCAR, we'll have food here, and then you can slide right into your vision board party.
Are we gonna do that here at the office?
Here at the office.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
And then the following week, we're gonna have Heather Burns with Home Staging come out and speak to us. I have never used her, full disclaimer, but Cindy Silva has, and Cindy Silva has never steered me wrong. And so she's gonna be talking about her home staging company, and I believe, not to spoil too much of the reason why she's speaking, but I believe she finances the cost of the staging through escrow. So if your sellers are not wanting to do that, and you don't want to get stuck, like I'm right now, I'm probably gonna lose $2,000 because I didn't have a Heather Burns. So, anyway, she'll be speaking on January 22nd. After that, January 29th, make sure, get those phones up. If you want a new headshot for free, she's an amazing photographer. She shoots weddings all over the world. Scan the QR code. Space is limited. We only have it for a couple of hours, but you will get a slew of up-to-date headshots. So if your headshot looks like it was taken 2 presidents ago, might be time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, Jenny's awesome. We've had a couple of different photographers do this, and she's been the favorite. We good? All right. And then coming up faster. All right.
Yeah.
You know what music I listen to? Coming up fast is not George Strait, it's Cabo. Cabo 26 is happening in March. And please scan the QR code. It's gonna be phenomenal. We're gonna have Tom Fair, we're gonna have Pace Morby, Gary and his wife Sage Brecka will be there. There are gonna be other speakers. I think Girls with Grit is going to be there. There's gonna be a women's breakout session. If you're gonna attend any real estate event in 2026, I would recommend Cabo. Bar none, like hands down, it is the best one. Scan the QR code. Prices are going up as we get closer, so it'll save a little bit of money if you register sooner rather than later. Going on to the next one. And then we're up to our mortgage minutes. Everybody, please welcome to the front of the room, our in-house lender, Mr. JJ Mack.
Happy New Year. How y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, man, I'm excited for this year. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun because all these interest rates, man, it's like the affordability is improving. And that is all we've been talking about this last year, is affordability. But the only reason that we want rates to come down is just because people can afford better homes, right? It's not the rate itself, it's I need to afford what I could buy. So before I get into that a little bit, you guys hear about what Trump wants to do this last week? Anybody? Wants to ban large institutional investors from buying single family homes. That's a hot topic right now, right? What do you think? What percentage of homes are large institutional investors actually buying last year? Any idea?
30%.
30%?
Over 50.
Over 50%?
I think it's
18%?
Very specific.
Well, between 1 to 3%.
Oh,
wow, okay.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
And I'm talking about large institutional investors, what Trump's talking about, like very large company, BlackRock right now, right? Not your, company that has, a couple of investors in it. These are large companies. So although it's not gonna be an end all be all, it definitely helps, because 1 to 3% of the whole nation is still a large amount of homes, but it's not necessarily the biggest thing ever, but it's good news for the economy. It's one more thing. It could be a chess. What's that? Oh,
you're
it could be a chess move for the midterm elections. I'm not really sure exactly why right now he's saying that, but it's still good news and moving the ball in the right direction. Tomorrow we have the jobs report coming out, the BLS jobs report for the year. So the first one of the year. So that's going to be good. We'll see if unemployment continues to be driven up. It might not be, people don't like firing their employees in the middle of Christmas time, and we're going to look back on that point. So it might not be the best one, but overall, you're still going to see potentially a really good move to the right direction tomorrow, because the number that it's replacing from last year is actually very, very low. So even if we don't have a super strong unemployment data, it's still going to move it in the right direction more than likely, and we'll see rates continue to come down. But this year, last year, inflation cooled off a ton, right? Rates came down a ton, over 1%. It's not working. Thanks. Rates came down a ton, over 1% from last year. And so we're seeing things happening in the right direction. And then the best thing ever, the reason why we're seeing all that is the reason what we want, everything is affordability to improve. And you guys know this just as much as I do. When you go out and you find homes for people that want to sell their homes, people have equity, right? They have them. We're at record levels of equity in homes. So we're reaching these record highs of people that have equity. So that is a huge reason why people will leave their homes and move into something that could potentially have a slightly higher interest rate. Refinance retention climbs to 28%. It's the highest that we've seen in 3.5 years. And so that is a huge thing for people that bought homes from you guys between 2023 and 2025. Just in our business, I think we've got, Lindsay talked to 12, 13, 14, 15 people just yesterday that want to refinance. And this is happening all around. So if you have clients, make sure you're talking to them about refinancing. And then last thing I want to tell you, over the last several years, we've seen affordability improve. Right now, we're about 29% of income that's going towards people's mortgage payments. Just a couple years ago, it was almost 50% of when you were qualifying for a home. So when you look at that data, you say the amount from interest rates going from 8% all the way down to now 6.25% being the national average. You're seeing a huge affordability come back into the market. So that's what's really going to help this year. You're going to see more affordability that's going to allow for people to sell their homes, get back out there, more inventory, allowing us all to sell more homes and help more buyers. And so I'm really excited. I have this year, I'm starting up a new segment at my office. Every quarter, I'm doing a market update. It's for real estate agents. So if you want to be involved in that, I'm going to get you guys some more information, but every single quarter, I'm going to do a market update. It's going to go really deep dive into exactly what the market has done, what it's doing, and what it was going to be doing. So you can help your clients with that. Last but not least, I really would love to have Lindsay share something today. If you want to come up here, Lindsay. We helped, you guys know Cindy Litzinger? You guys all know Cindy. So we helped her, one of her clients, buy a condo. And I wanted Lindsay to talk about how that particular client bought that condo and how we can help buyers buy condos that aren't even approved to have financing on them. So Lindsay, you share? Thank you guys.
Hey guys,
Right.
good morning. Many of you probably have a somewhat love-hate relationship with condos because they have gotten increasingly more difficult to get buyers into. What we're finding is that there are a lot that, I mean, almost none are FHA approved. But even the ones that are conventionally approved have sticking points along the way with something going on with the HOA. So these buyers, they've been in contract on another condo and it ended up falling out because there were critical repairs, things the buyers just didn't want to even get themselves into long-term. Canceled on that, got into contract on another one, and it needed to go in for a spot approval. And it just, as a little asterisk, it took about 2 months to get that one closed because there are a ton of hoops to jump through. There's a lot of HOA documents to collect, a lot of back and forth between our condo desk and the HOA. We got everything that we needed, got the spot approval, and then got an appraisal and got these guys closed. And it was a wonderful, very satisfying escrow for these young first-time homebuyers in the price range they were looking. But what we're also doing a lot of, Haley can be a testament to this, is your buyers that fall in that condo price range. We will run it through our condo desk before you're out looking at properties and putting in offers to find out if there are those critical repairs, if it can be approved, if it's eligible for a spot approval. Some seem like they should be okay. We've had it before where a listing agent has said, oh, yep, it can go FHA. We search it up and find out that there are other things going on, but maybe it can go in through a spot approval. So it's a single unit approval. So even if the complex as a whole is not approved for FHA lending, we can do a single unit spot approval to get financing on that one unit. So it doesn't then make the whole complex eligible, but it does for your buyers. So we're mostly just to say they're tricky, they're challenging, but we're willing to help be your ally and resource to find out if condo is going to work for your buyers, if it's eligible, and if it's possible to go through with the spot approval, we can do that. And then also just wanted to mention to you guys, those same buyers used down payment assistance. So you can still use down payment assistance and do a spot approval with FHA on a condo. A lot of layers there, but we can do it. And then also just something that's been coming up a lot recently is people looking for financing for ITIN borrowers. And we're able to do mobile lending. We have two sources for mobile home lending and for properties in parks. And one of our sources just recently started doing ITIN borrowers with only 5% down. So yeah, so if you don't have a social security number, you are not a resident or have a green card. If you have a tax ID number, and you're filing taxes, have income, but don't have a social security number, most options are going to require 15+% down payment for those borrowers. And there's very few options for them, but mobile home lending, they will allow just 5% down And those are usually pretty affordable price points too. So just something I'd share because they only started allowing that in the last like 8 months.
What's the rate on your mobile lending?
Mobile lending is gonna start at 8%. And then they tier up from there. The lower your credit score and the lower your down payment, the higher that rate's gonna be. I'd say they cap out at probably 12% if you have like a 580 credit score and minimum down payment. But if you have decent credit and even just a 5%, you're probably looking at like 8.25. And they take about 30-35 days to go through. So we have 2 sources for them. So
And is that pre-1979?
we can do, yeah, 76.
Oh, so
And we can do those too. So one of our sources does pre-HUD. So if the property's built before 1976, those require 25% down payment. Regardless, if it's pre-HUD. So a lot of times our buyers they want to do just 5% down payment, we just let them know you should be looking at properties that are built after 76, but there's quite a few options and availability, so. If they have, and they don't necessarily have to have a sponsored work visa, like a lot of traditional lending do. If they have an ITIN number, they can do the mobile homes. So just another resource for you guys. That's kind of the lowest option on a down payment that is available at all. Of course, then they have to buy a mobile home in a park. Some of them are pretty nice, so
Yeah.
it's worth a shot.
Hey Lindsay, I have a quick question. So
Yeah.
I was a fly on the wall for this whole 2-month deal with this couple on here. She loved this couple.
Oh my gosh,
So hard
yes.
For them. But, so if, in some of these condo places, 300-400 condos, if there's one lawsuit going on, none of those can be sold? I mean, it blows my mind, is that, I mean,
Yes, so it depends, but if there is pending litigation with an HOA, even if it's for
Yeah.
one unit, I mean,
Yes.
it becomes an entire complex issue. So the whole complex is, well, essentially, if the HOA is being sued, it sort of puts everything on pause because they need to figure out how this is gonna resolve and ultimately affect the HOA. What is their funding gonna look like? Are they gonna have to increase, dues for everybody? So that is a big thing, and that's something that we can search up to ahead of time. We can just give our condo desk an address and find out if they have critical repairs or pending litigation. And same thing with critical repairs, so not just pending litigation, but if there are like a large scale, say a bunch of roofs are shot or a bunch of decks are shot, and the whole complex is under a pretty major renovation, even if your unit is not, that can be something that has to be addressed too. So. Yeah.
I have a couple that are coming up for listings. Do you suggest as listing agents to talk to you guys before we go on the market to find out if this one
Yeah.
can be FHA done? And if
Yes.
there's any, how would, you can't order HOA docs yet, so how would you be able to look at if there was litigation?
So a lot of that information is public information.
Okay.
So on our condo desk without ordering the condo doc specifically, we can search critical repairs, pending litigation, all that stuff. We can also find out if it's FHA, Fannie or Freddie approved, and at least give you that information. There are still things that can come up on those condo docs. Also just something to keep in mind. A lot of people say, well, this complex is oversaturated with investors. If you have a buyer that's a primary residence buyer, that doesn't matter. That only matters for your investor buyers. Your first time home buyers, even if it's over a 50% investment ratio, your first time buyers can still buy there because now they're increasing the primary residence ratios. So definitely just send us your scenarios. Let us help you guys search it. Our condo desk is pretty quick. They're very thorough. We found something on Cindy's on the first property that other lenders hadn't found because we're like, well, other people had gone through financing on this. We're like, yeah, but this litigation that had never been, this slipped through the cracks. And it probably would have made a difference for buyers had they known. Yeah.
Question regarding the percentage. I know before, different condos could have different percentage of investors, but they were talking about making a law where they all had to be the same. Are they all the same yet? Or are they all different still?
I'm still seeing them a little bit different.
Okay.
For the most part, that falls about 50%.
50.
For most, kind of just in general sense, but we can search up that information and find it out for you. Cool. Hey,
I know you do a great job with TCAs for first-time homebuyers when you're qualifying them. One of the things that you probably do when they come in with a coach buyer is take a look at the underlying rent in the park. I just had one, the rent was $1,200, of which about 400 was utilities. Well, that other 800 that's park rent, if you convert that to a mortgage at 6.25 or an FHA at 5.75, that same buyer can buy a $320,000 to $340,000
Yeah,
house
so
instead of the
true.
$185,000 cost.
So true.
And I know you walked them through that exercise as well, so I think that should be something planted in the seeds of some of you here, if you're less familiar with mobile home parks versus first-time home buyers buying a home.
It's a really good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. At least
That-
walking
that's the
through.
same.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll
Great
give
point.
At least
those,
walking
we'll
through.
give that comparison and options, you know, if you are interested in mobile home with a high space lease, this is what you qualify for a single family home, if it didn't have spaces, this would qualify for, and just give people those options.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, but they are a phenomenal group right there. Love the questions. Thank you for being engaged. But now, before we bring the next speaker up, I just want to add some color to how qualified he is. He's like a national trainer for bull trails. He's been recognized by the company. We are lucky to have him. He's here every single Friday. So please put your hands together and welcome Alex Dyer.
Hello, Alex.
Well, hello. Bold Trail Academy, Steve Hillier and I started this thing 3 years ago.
Something like that.
And last year we made the transition from KB4 to Bold Trail. And there was some tech upgrades that we went and highlighted. This year, as we're moving forward, Steve and I have mapped out the entire year's worth of content starting at the very beginning. And so tomorrow, when you guys come into the class, we're looking at the very basics of, what do you need to do to start using the platform? So that's what you can expect tomorrow. Let me open up a presentation here. This.
While he works on that, some of the things that's so critical to learn Bold Trail is it has some of the best lead gen options that available to all of us. So if you understand how to make that tool work, then it opens up the door to the different lead gen platforms that are offered to us and how to juice them up.
Yeah, so this presentation I put together, it's like my first time using it, so we'll see how it goes here. But Bold Trail, when I started, I was just showing people how to press buttons. It was like we got together, it was at the old office, and I think there was like 6 of us there in the room. And we're like, okay, how do we use this thing? And I was I knew how to use it, but I didn't really know how to show people how to use it. So it was a little rough in the beginning, but that's the way you do this stuff. It's evolved to the point now where I am with it is showing you how to use it to be more productive. And I think that with Bold Trail, we can automate ourselves out of the equation so much that it becomes unauthentic. Make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
We have these smart campaigns, we have the templates, we have all this automation we can do, which is great because it frees up our time. But what I'm looking at in this year moving forward is using these tools, but at the same time, showing you how to use them so that you are more authentic in the way that you're communicating with your database. And so that's really my focus as I go into the year. So in my presentation, it is empowering real estate professionals through an innovative training system. And so I'm looking at, okay, we have these great tools. I can show you how to use them, but if you don't use this platform every day, you're never going to remember how to use it. And that's really where the training comes in. the training comes in getting you disciplined so that you use the platform to run your business. It's what I've done, and I've never been busier than I have right now. And last year I looked at my production, and 60% of my production came from my past clients, came from my referrals. And that's what we all want to do. I mean, if I took a survey right now and said, hey, where do you want your leads to come from? Everyone here would raise their hand and say, oh, I want it to come from my past database. Okay, great. Do you have your database put together? Is it in your CRM? It doesn't have to be Bold Trail. We have 3 different CRMs to choose from, but do you have it put in there? I know a lot of agents have their database in their CRM, but they've never organized it. They don't have complete contacts. All of these disciplines really make a difference when you're using CRM. And that's really what I focus on. I show you guys how to do this. I've done, Steve, how many videos we do last year? I think we have 43 sessions that we did. And I go in and I look and
43.
43. I look at all the view count and I'm like, okay, who's watching this stuff? Who's actually engaging? And I can tell you the agents who are taking action, they're seeing their productivity go up, seeing their engagement go up. So it takes a lot of effort, but when you're using a CRM and you're using the technology, it makes you more productive and it gets you more engaged. I will say that the best thing you can do, the most engagement you can get, is when you pick up the phone and call your clients. You gotta call your clients. So if you're afraid of the phone, you need to get over that, get over yourself, and just start calling your clients and think of reasons to call your clients. And that's really what the CRM is really good at. That CRM is really good at creating opportunities to call your clients through all of this automation that we do. I have a listing coming up right now that past client, actually it wasn't even a past client, it was a likely move database I put together through a title company that I uploaded into my CRM. And I've just been marketing them with the automations. And I saw that they looked at their market report. So I called them, said, hey, I saw you look at that market report. Guess what? They're getting ready to list. And the only reason I knew that is because I had the automation. I saw they looked at it and I made that phone call. So that's what I focus on. So within the platform, there is an infinite number of ways to generate leads. Leads are really the lifeblood of our business. We all are out there going, man, if I only had more leads. The leads are out there to generate, but you have to use the platform to do it. So I have a weekly plan that I've put together, actions that you can take throughout the week so that you're using the tools of the platform to really tell your story to your social media. I think right now, being someone that grew up without all this technology, as a lot of us in this room were, right now we have no better opportunity to tell our story as to who we are as an agent. You know, am I a condo agent? Am I land and ranch? Am I luxury? You know, who are you as an agent? You can tell that story using the tools within Bold Trail, and you can put it out there to all the different social media platforms. Are you making a video every week? You know, Ricky Caruth. Who knows Ricky Caruth in this room? You know, Ricky Caruth puts out a video every week. I put out a video every week because Ricky Caruth told me to do it. And so I have living in Placer County, and my view rates on my video are like a couple hundred every week. That video goes into my newsletter. It goes on to all my different social channels. I put links in the video that all link back to my Bold Trail website. So when people want to search for a house, I have that link embedded in the video. These are all things I do. I kind of take it for granted. So I'm like, oh, everyone can do this, but not everyone can because you're not disciplined to do it. And so I go back to that because using the platform, doing all these different things, you have to do them week in and week out. Can't just sit there and go, oh, Alex showed me how to do it here. And then not do it for 3 weeks and then come back and then you call me and say, Alex, how do I do this again? You got to do it every week. And you can't be afraid to put bad content out there. Like I said, in the beginning, when I started doing this, those first couple of sessions were rough. But you come back and you do it week in and week out. That's really what we have the ability to do. And it's important that we get into this habit because you can tell the narrative as to who you are. And so this last week, I put a blog post out about selling land and ranch property and what happens when your land and ranch property doesn't sell. I used AI to write the entire article. I made some adjustments to it, so it edified the land and ranch platform. And by the time I got done going and using all the tools that we have available to us, I read it over and I go, wow, I look like a genius. Then I took and published that in my blog post. I took that blog post and I put it out on Reddit. It's on my Google business page. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. And it's a post on my YouTube channel. So there's 5 different ways I put that out there. I do this because now people are no longer Googling. They're AI. AI is the new Google search. And so we had Cindy, was it Cindy? The woman from Canada, what's her name? Carrie. You know, so she came and she did a Thursday meeting at Peacock and she told us about it. She said, hey, if you want to rank on AI, here's everything you need to do. How many of us did that? I did it. Am I ranking yet? No, but I know it doesn't happen overnight. But again, it goes back to those disciplines, and that's what I focus on. Now, getting down to what I do. So over the last several years, especially this last year, I've had a lot of agents reach out to me. Agents who have recruited agents. So those of you that are building big agent teams, when you're recruiting agents onto your team and you're pushing Bold Trail out there, you got to make sure you're pushing out there the right way. You got to set those expectations. You know, how does my database come over? You know, what does that look like to bring your database over? You got to address the biggest issue with the platform, which is the email deliverability. You know, just because you have that @EXP Realty email address doesn't mean that your emails are going to hit the inbox. You guys got to know about these things if you're recruiting an agent that's really into using CRM. So I cover that in the Quick Start Guide. I'm launching this year. I'm launching an academy class. It's a mastery class. Because what I've found is that as agents, I know for myself and several of us out there, we tend to feel like we're on an island by ourselves. We're all out there. You're in business for yourself. You know, you have to do your own production, this sort of thing. But at the end of the day, what we really need to be doing is supporting each other. And so what I'm doing is it's going to be subscription based, but creating a way to generate that content. And then I'm thinking it's going to be Wednesday at like 1 o'clock. We all jump on a Zoom. And when Rich posts to his social media, we all at that point in time jump on that post and we like, comment, and share. And then Joey's going to do the same thing. And then Steve's going to do the same thing. And we sit there for an hour with our content all ready to go. And as soon as it hits to our social media, we all sit there and jump on it. And if we do that, it's going to trick the algorithm into going, wow, this guy's viral. And then it promotes it out there.
It's a good idea.
We don't have a platform to do that, guys. But I have created this. Knowingly, you know, it wasn't part of my master plan. But, you know, I'm always out there looking at how can we promote ourselves out there better using these different tools. And so if you've gone in and done had AI ask you 25 questions about your business so that your AI understands your business goals and objectives, so it can be your personal digital assistant. Everyone should do that with their AI. It's hard to do, but you can do it. But then you come back and now you know who you are as an agent. And then you have your AI create 90 content ideas for you. So that now you have your content ideas so that you can go through and make content and put it out there into the universe. And then when you come into the social media session, you have your content all ready to go. We post it, you post it, and then we all sit there and engage with it. Because we're not engaging. I've asked you guys to engage with my content. And I get very little engagement. I get some likes, very few comments. But guys, we need to be doing this for each other. The reason why we're not is because we don't have a platform to do it. We don't have a time when we can all get together and say, this is where we're doing it. So I'm putting that together for us. So I'll be in there. I have my open weekly sessions. I have my coaching and training. And so here's the thing. You guys go and you get your platform set up. You get your database in. You get everything dialed in. And then you look at it and you go, okay, what do I do? What do I do with it? I've done all this, but what do I do? And so what I've found is that agents that have an existing database that are at that block, it's helpful for me to sit down in 1 hour segments, and we sit down and just focus on each lead that you have, each contact you have in your database. And you pull it up, and I look at it from my lens of being, the Bold Trail guy, and I go, okay, is this a complete contact? Do you have the right email? Do you have the phone number in there? Do you have the automations turned on? When was the last time you called them? I've done this with dozens of agents, and it's really where you get traction on this, because you learn how to use the tools and you overcome that apprehension. And so I do that. I do that on a small scale. For those that really want to go large scale, I have 21 days to build a habit. So you sit with me for an hour for 21 days straight, take the weekends off to do open houses using the Bold Trail Open House app. So we make sure that everyone that comes into the open house goes into your CRM. I have a video on that. But at the end of the 21 days, you're proficient at using the platform. I mean, you wake up every day, you go to your desk or go to your desktop, you go, okay, what activity has gone on in the last 24 hours? And you'll see the activity goes up. Steve does that. And so those are the different trainings that I have available. But the Friday training is always free. It's right here in this room. You can join in person, bring your laptop, interactive session. And what I've learned to do on a weekly basis is to give you a really in-depth focus on one aspect of the platform. So I'm not going to give you a fire hose information. Sometimes I feel like I repeat the same thing 5 different times in a half hour. But that's what I feel that's what you need to learn technology sometimes. For me, it's super easy. Oh yeah, you just do this, this, and this. But I've learned over time that it's like, oh, wait a minute, I just lost that person over there. So let's go back and do it again and do it again and again. And at the end of these half-hour sessions, the goal is to have you completely understand that to the point where you can execute on it. And so tomorrow when we sit down, I'm going to go over the agent profile. So even if you're in the platform using it already, or if you've never opened it up or just logged in, come tomorrow. We're gonna go over the profile. I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do to set it up. It is something that takes more than just a half hour to do. And in that space, you really need to find who you are as an agent. So you need to understand what your market is, what type of property you're going after, and so there's some nuance to it.
Friday's also on Zoom.
Friday's on Zoom as well. Zoom@alexdyer.com.
It's at 10 a.m.
It is. Move forward here. So I'm on social. So that one of the biggest hurdles I find out there is getting my messaging out there. And to that point, how many text emails do we get a day that we just pull? You know, I'd like the new vision text that comes in. Oh, there's new vision. Yeah, are we reading them? Yeah,
Should be.
I think we need to read these things, you guys. So I don't try to blast it out there. I really tried not to blast. But I post my notice of meetings weekly on the school platform and on my Facebook page. The content goes into my YouTube. So I'm putting it out there. But you guys got to read this stuff. And that goes for, you know, the Brent Gove stuff that comes out. You know, I see Brent Gove and I make it a point to say, okay, you know, Brent doesn't blast us, but when he does send something out there, it's important that we read it. You know, just like the notice of meeting for this, I was like, cool, notice of meeting, I'm on there, everything's good. And every week, like next week, we're going to be at PCOM. You know, it's gonna be a great meeting. But within EXP, I find that, you know, it's funny, I bumped into an agent that was dissatisfied because they didn't have training at EXP. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? If someone has that objection, if you have an agent out there talking to that that is saying that, they really need to plug in.
That's the most important.
And so if anyone out there is thinking that they're not getting that level of training, you come talk to me, come talk to Steve, come talk to Johnny, Gary Meek, he does training every week. We have a calendar out there. You guys really need to plug in. And I say that from the perspective of people coming to me asking questions about areas of the platform that I've covered like 10 different times. It's like, you're just not looking, you're not looking for it. Steve.
I got a quick question. Approximately, I know the answer, but approximately how many plays will we be showing the agents this new year?
So I have 43 weeks of content laid out. The first 13 weeks are going to be the essentials for getting started with the platform. And I'm going to do it in little drips along the way. Everything's going to be labeled so that you're going to be able to go in and say, okay, this is how I do the bulk database upload. And it's not just going to be, oh, I'm going to upload my entire database. Like I had an agent that had 7,800 contacts and they were just going to upload them all at one time. I said, oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Now I'm going to explain to you why when I do that session. Just really briefly, you have past clients, you have friends, you have acquaintances, you have third-party industry people in your database. All of those need to be uploaded with a different hashtag and in different categories. I had one agent, it was a Remax agent. She hired me to come down and get her Bold Trail KV Core all set up. And she uploaded everything at the same time as buyer leads. And she ended up giving up because she had 5,000 contacts that were all buyers, and they weren't all buyers. A lot of them were past contacts or past buyers, and now they're going to be a potential seller. So there's some nuance to it, and I'll cover that. But that's what I have coming up for the plays.
And that center, SK, that's the school platform.
Yeah.
Each time you cut a training, a bite-sized training, people can go back and refresh and watch it until they understand it.
Yeah, so I have all these classrooms laid out. When I talk about the having AI understand your business goals and objectives, it's right there under Smart AI Bold Trail users. We have moved into an age where I believe if you're not using AI, you're not servicing your clients at the highest level. One thing that I've started doing with every escrow that I have is I started AI stream. I feed everything into the AI. I feed the listing, the purchase contract, all of the disclosures, all the property reports, every email, every piece of communication. And then when I get a piece of communication from somebody involved in the transaction, I feed it into that same AI stream. And then I prompt it to say, respond to this email considering all the elements of this transaction. It is mind-blowing how much better you are as an agent, because now instead of you trying to think of, oh, what did that property inspection say? Well, the AI knows what it says. And when you get a repair request addendum, and they say, well, something wasn't disclosed, or whatever it is. Well, because you've created that string, you know everything. Because your personal digital assistant, which is your AI, it does billions of calculations a second within that AI string so that you look really good. In fact, I have a probate listing that had some issues with, and it came back and gave me legal guidance and said, the attorney should be doing this, this, and this. So I went back to the attorney and I said, hey, you know about this, this, and this within California law? And she's like, wow, you're amazing. Well, I really am, because I'm using these tools. Going back to my point, within what I'm doing moving forward, a lot of it's going to be dependent on AI, because we all need to be using it to generate our content, helping us track our files, and it is just an amazing tool. It's a huge shift. And so I just think that if you're not using it, you know, the saying in the industry right now is that if you're not using AI as an agent, you'll be replaced by somebody that is. And it's very true. And so I'm very transparent about the content that I put out there. The 43 weeks of content that I've mapped out, I had AI help me map it out. And I mapped it out based on all the content that I've created for KV4 Bold Trail. And I take content from Inside Real Estate, which owns Bold Trail, and I'm part of a mastery club with them. And so I take those videos, I feed it into my AI so I can create content for you guys that is the most relevant to what we want to do with the platform. So that's how I come up with the content in place. One thing that I do focus on that I think is very important is the deficiencies of the platform. Okay. Just because you go and sign up for this and it has all these fancy tools, if you use your EXP email address with the Inside Real Estate servers through Bold Trail to send out your content, 95% of it ends up in spam. 95%. You know, it's not an Inside Real Estate issue. It's not an EXP issue. It's just that you have 90,000 agents that have an @EXP email address. And then Inside Real Estate, their email servers, I believe, are in Washington State. So when you're sending email communication through the platform, the service providers identify that it's with an email address that has a lot of spam associated with it. And it's not a local email server. It's an out-of-the-town email server. So I go in and I address this, and I show you workarounds to be able to get your emails within home. It's very important to understand the deficiency of the platform. When we're looking at the property search feature, so the site has all this IDX capability, it's not 100% bulletproof. It's not, you know, especially if you're dealing with rural properties or manufactured homes. You're not going to get the same search results that you get if you're using your MLS. I've done it. I've tested several times. But the important thing to understand is that if you can get your clients to just use the link in the platform to view properties, it shows up on your dashboard, and then it creates more activity so that the platform knows to rank that lead higher, so that you have more assignments and tasks to do with it. And so it goes to the no lead left behind, which is important Because we're out there generating all these leads and we want to convert them. And so if you're not sitting there with your 8x8 matrix to convert those leads, the platform through automation will take care of half of those 8x8 matrix, but having you interact with that lead and make the phone calls, say it again, making the phone calls the most important thing. That's where you get the highest converting with them. So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you use Bold Trail? And I have a lot of experience with Follow Up Boss, but really none with Bold Trail, not very little. For managing escrows as well, does it have that capability?
It does.
It does.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't use that aspect of it,
Mhm.
because I have a transaction coordinator.
Right.
But it does have that. It does have integration with SkySlope and all of that.
Does it have integration with Fellow?
It might through a
Like it?
API code,
Yeah, okay.
but it's not direct integration. There is an app for SkySlope.
Okay.
But yeah, so every Friday at 10 o'clock, Steve and I, we do an open session right here. And like I said, we have 43 weeks of content that we've mapped out using AI that is what I feel is gonna be the most relevant. I don't want to say cutting edge, but it's gonna be very relevant to what you need to do to use the platform. And like I say, I'm gonna give it to you just in little drips. It's something I learned early on. It's not give information through a fire hose. Because everyone consumes this information at a different rate. And I think it's important that when I post these videos to my different channels, that you can go in there and identify exactly what that is, so that the other day I was on the road and someone asked me about squeeze pages. I have a dozen videos on squeeze pages, so I had one bookmarked in my notes and I sent it to the agent and they're like, perfect, exactly what I did. So that's my goal moving into. So, Steven.
I just want to reiterate kind of what you guys have your hands on. So it is a new year, it's 2026. We all want to do something great with our career. And this is a very well laid out plan that you can execute each week and grow your skills in databasing.
Yeah.
And we're deadly serious about being very consistent for you guys. It's a lot of effort for Alex and I to do this. So we really would encourage you, get involved and learn the database, because 95% of agents don't.
Yeah.
Be part of the 5%, be part of what Johnny can do, or what Tom Daves can do, what some of the new vision stuff is done.
Yeah.
Database, and we'll teach you very specifically every week. So take it seriously and be successful in 26 database.
Yeah, and with the academy that we're rolling out, there's going to be accountability built into that. And that accountability is going to lead to more activity within your database. And that's what we're looking for. Google reviews. How many people have a Google business page? How many reviews do you have? You know, at 27, you rank higher with Google and they promote you out there and it doesn't cost you anything. We're going to sit down and we're going to give everybody Google reviews, because we need to be doing this. You don't just have to have past clients do it. We can review each other as an agent and it still counts. So questions?
Hey, just a point on those Google reviews. So I've been in things before, and so everybody started Google reviewing each other. If everybody does it like really quick all at one time, Google kicks it out.
Yeah, you gotta be smart about it.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart about it. So, any questions?
We have an online question.
Go ahead.
What AI apps are you using to upload your docs into?
So primarily right now I use Grok through X. That's my main AI that I use. And the reason I'm using that is so that I can rank when people do AI searches. And so I do a lot of posting on X. All of my content that I do for living in Placer County, I post it in X as well. And So that's primarily why I use the platform, but I upload the docs to it. And when I upload like a whole house inspection, I'll prompt it to say, as a real estate expert, analyze this whole house inspection to do X, Y, and Z. And bam, it goes through and does it. And if you do it within that string you create for that listing, if it's a property listing or if it's a purchase, you do everything in that same string. You just attach it. It's really cool. So. Right?
Thank you, Alex.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Awesome.
More to come tomorrow. You wanna know how this thing?
And then putting on those, and then the takeaways from Alex, guys, every single Friday, 43 weeks out of here, almost every single Friday.
Yeah.
They're here, and Bold Trails is free for us to use. Getting Google reviews, ranking on Google, 27 reviews. I didn't know you did.
Yeah.
Just 27, just 27. That's free to use. I can tell you how many people call us because of our Google reviews. So if you're not doing that, it's something that's free. So we'll see you next Thursday at PCAR. Not here, but at PCAR. See you guys. All right, bye online.